Right. I think we can get started now. We are 5 minutes past the scheduled time. So thanks a lot, everyone, for taking your time out and joining us for this webinar. I hope next 45, 50 minutes will be worth your time. And the topic for today's webinar is the GenAI-enabled document and records management platform based on Alfresco DMS as well as MariaDB. My name is Hemant Prasad, your presenter for today. We'll have roughly about 20-25 minutes of presentation, followed by a live demo of the GenAI capabilities for document and records management. That will take about 10 to 12 minutes as well, and then we will open up for Q&A. Feel free to drop your queries in the chat box. Or we'll share my contact as well at the end of webinar. So if you want to connect with me, feel free to do that as well. So post your queries during the webinar, and we'll definitely take it up at the end of it. So we'll have at least about 10 minutes to answer your queries. So just a quick introduction about our company. So that's the agenda. Just a quick introduction about who we are, what Crest Infosolutions, my company, does. The GenAI capabilities in document records management, as well as into the low-code app development and BPM. Some of the key features which I'm going to demonstrate live today: the summarization, the sensitive information reductions, the PII, GDPR compliance, and also the chat and QA feature, which is all built in the embedded within the Alfresco UI user interface, the modern user interface of Alfresco. And then we'll have a live demo, as I said, for about 10 to 12 minutes. I'll try to mimic a use case for business. And we'll come back to the slide deck to have a deep dive in solution architecture of how we built it, what goes behind the technology stack, what are the deployment options, and finally, as I said, we'll take up the Q&A. So quick introduction about Crest Infosolutions, of what we do, who we are. We have been in business for roughly about 13 years now, primarily based in the Asia Pacific part of the world, but now got some customers, prestigious customers that we are working in United States as well as in Europe as well. Our primary offering is around enterprise content management, workflow BPM solutions. So a proud partner of Highland for the open source enterprise open source platform Alfresco, as well as we carry a few other open source solutions. Been working with MariaDB for database consulting offerings, Kong for enterprise API gateway, as well as working with IBM for the server infrastructure, with Red Hat for their containerized Kubernetes OpenShift solution, as well as with SUSE for the container solution Rancher, which is pretty popular in the market. So we've been implementing enterprise content management, document management, workflow, records management solutions for the last about 10 years plus. So we've been an Alfresco partner for a decade plus now, and now a proud Highland partner. Our presence, as I mentioned, we started off in Asia Pacific, in Singapore, expanded to Malaysia, also serve customers in Indonesia, Australia. We got our R&D center in India, and also serving customers, and have our presence in US, in UK, as well as in Netherlands. So we do serve some of the prestigious customers all across the continents. A couple of success stories about what we do. Records management, public sector customer is something we are pretty strong in. So the government of Malaysia, it has been using Alfresco for centralized records management for more than 376 public sector agency, with 56,000 plus active users on a multi-tenant model, which saved a lot of cost, standardized records management across government on a single cluster, highly available environment. Compliance to records management, ISO 16175, information security compliance like ISO 27001, etc., which Alfresco provided to this particular platform, and happy to sort of have their reference for this wonderful project that we have done. Another success story that we are very proud of is for a digital bank in Singapore, which went live a couple of years back, and proud to say that most of the banking processes starting from onboarding new customers to loan applications to new credit card or debit card issuing, or even the grievance redressal processes, are all built using Alfresco Process Services Platform, the BPMN platform by Alfresco. And it's integrated with several backend systems, including the digital banking platform, the core banking platform, the loan origination system, and so on and so forth. So the two different unique use cases that I brought, and of course there are more that we have in our store, but these are the two highlights of our expertise in the ECM space. So let me get into about deep dive into Alfresco's capability about documents, records, and the GenAI capability. So it's a modular platform, does provide document management capabilities, records management, knowledge management, also the low-code app development, built-in reports and analytics, as well as the GenAI. So these are the key modules of the Alfresco digital business platform. Customers can choose of which capability do they want to get started with, and eventually take advantage of the full platform to manage or consolidate multiple silos, repositories into a single platform, which not only provide a user collaboration, document management, but also helps you to comply to either the records management compliance, ISO 16175, 15489, GDPR, PDPA, and so on and so forth. Using the low-code app development platform, customers can automate the processes and go to market more quickly. And with GenAI built in within Alfresco, the user productivity can definitely go to the next level, rather than having the fragmented third-party or rather public or publicly hosted GenAI platform. Alfresco does provide the embedded experience that we will have a live demo of later on. So giving a glimpse of the document management capabilities itself, very modern user interface for the use, provides a tribute structure for managing the documents, which can be automated to meet business requirements of different kind of businesses, whether you are a banking customer, you are in insurance domain, you are a public sector, retail, energy company. Alfresco document management module does allow you to create a comprehensive file plan, folder structure, allow users to collaborate on the documents, build the ecosystem of working with the documents using either Microsoft Office 365 or with Google Workspace. So users can do co-authoring of the documents, share the information with each other while remaining compliant to the information security policy of the organizations. So a very comprehensive version control, access control, permission management with full audit trail to meet all the compliances. The records management takes the information management to the next level, where you can have automated file plans. So not all documents are records in an organization. So some of the business critical documents which do have legal value will be declared as the records, and Alfresco can be configured to automatically identify which documents or which version of the documents will be labeled or classified as records, and what sort of retention policies, like retaining the financial documents for 7 years or maybe 5 years beyond an expiry date of a contract, those sort of policies can be configured. The security classification can be applied on the records to ensure that there is another layer of security, not just access control, not just the permissions, but there can be another layer of security by applying security classifications, tagging some of the documents or folders to confidential, secret, top secret, so on and so forth. You can have compliance to other industries, whether it's like HIPAA or HL7 compliance is what you can achieve using the records management module. All right. So taking a step further, when you have your documents and records within the same platform, how do you then retrieve the knowledge with a well-organized repository? So the knowledge management capability is definitely very comprehensive within Alfresco, and with the enablement of GenAI, this definitely takes you to the next level, where we have even enabled the natural language search capabilities within Alfresco. So you don't have to be an expert in retrieving information using certain keywords and so on. Just go ahead and ask a simple question like we ask in our daily routine work, and Alfresco will be able to get you the data what you are looking for, not really specifying of any metadata or keywords, etc. Just go ahead and ask a question in a natural language, and you can retrieve the knowledge at a click. Moving further from the information management, now you want to automate the processes, want to go paperless. So Alfresco does have, again, as I said, it's a modular platform. Some of the organizations only use the low-code app development or the workflow BPM platform of Alfresco. Maybe they have some other repositories that they can connect to. It's possible. But those who want to have a comprehensive built-in experience, APS or Alfresco Process Services is just another module within the digital business platform, which allows businesses to, or even non-technical people to drag and drop, build a workflow processes, multi-stage workflow processes, not limiting it to a specific route, whether it's sequential or parallel. You can have a mix of both. And there can be rule-based routing instead of hard-coded, or instead of a fixed route. The workflow can be pretty dynamic, and while combined with the drag and drop form designer, the businesses can actually automate or digitalize the business processes within maybe minutes or hours or days, rather than waiting for weeks or months for a business process to be automated. We also have integration with the digital signing solution of these processes. So if a process will have to go a step further from a simple review approval, it also has to extend to signing the documents to complete the process and then declaring them as a record. So the information lifecycle is actually managed using the BPM and based construct within Alfresco platform. All right, and then of course the management would ask reports of what's happening in the organizations, which applications are coming in, how many policy requests, insurance policy requests come in, how many new accounts have been opened, right? So all of it can actually be drilled down using the pluggable reports platform that we have integrated within the same user interface. So whether it's about analyzing the business processes or user productivity or the documents coming in and out, there are reports available within the modern user interface of Alfresco, which even the non-technical users can drill down or even create new reports just using a drag and drop designer. All right, so let's get into the GenAI, which I'm sure most of you might be itching because that was supposed to be the main topic of today's presentation. I'm presenting here a business case, a scenario for a business executive who will have to get her work done, and while meeting the compliance requirements and also reducing errors. So take an example of Sharon, who is a business executive responsible for driving the growth through operational efficiency. Her team processes various business contracts. So we have taken a example of signing a contract which has to go through multiple approvals and does have sensitive information. Sharon does use a DMS platform, and there are, of course, thousands of active and expired contracts within the existing DMS, and her team relies, on the DMS platform and handles the sensitive contract information. There is a large volume of the data which actually comes in, so there are definitely the compliance risks which come in very often, and the team handles sensitive information, which purely relies on access control, the permissions within the system. Since there are a lot of steps in the process, from creating a contract to reviewing, approving, and signing, etc., everyone gets to see the sensitive information, even though they were not supposed to actually see at some stage of the process. And because the data entry is done manually, so there are, of course, errors within the contracts which actually goes in. There's a high processing time because every contract will have to be reviewed by multiple people, and each reviewer can take sometime 4 to 6 hours, or maybe sometime more than that, 8 to 10 hours, which is split maybe across a few days. And the sensitive information remains unmasked. So everyone, is free to either do a screen cap or even take a pictures, etc., which is not ideal, but that's the scenario that Sharon is facing at the moment. So the contract reviews do run late. There are temporary confirmation documents which Sharon will have to issue out because the contracts are taking time. And then the team spends weekends to go through these documents and somehow catch up, to the pending work. So this is a usual traditional challenge in most of the businesses which face today. How the GenAI basically helps Sharon to overcome these challenges, right? So Sharon hears about the GenAI capabilities, and I'm sure a lot of you might be asking as well, hey, how can I make my DMS practices more modern, more intelligent, right? But the challenge with Sharon is that she cannot go to cloud, or she cannot use OpenAI or Gemini or Copilot, etc., because there is too much sensitive information. Some of you might be willing to go for it, but for Sharon, well, no. I still want to have my data residency within our data center. So that's where she hears about Alfresco as a new GenAI DMS system, which can actually do fully on-prem GenAI capabilities within Alfresco. And using the GenAI capabilities, of course, Sharon is able to reduce the decision-making errors, because the GenAI does generate the summary of the documents, lengthy document, 50, 60, or 100 pages documents, and the reviewer can actually see it quickly, can cross-check the information with the contract, and in the end, it also ensures that only people who are supposed to see the sensitive information are the only ones who see it, and those who are not supposed to see the sensitive information, or once the process is complete, the sensitive information is then redacted and documents are labeled as secret, so that not everyone can actually get to have access to it. So this is what a process which I'm going to demonstrate live as well to you. Right, so let me give you a glimpse of what's coming in the demo next, and what are the capabilities that we have embedded within Alfresco as far as GenAI is concerned. So first capability which I'm going to demonstrate relates to the summarization of the documents. We will show you the automatic creation of the investment contract, and the moment contract is created using Alfresco platform, the GenAI triggers in and actually generates the summary, including the key points. The next capability is okay, so I think I listed down the key capabilities in here. So the first thing is document summarization, which I'm going to show you, and then we'll enter translation. So if you get a contract in a multinational organization, do get contracts maybe in different languages, Spanish, Italian, German, etc., and you're going to have a English version of it. If you have English version, you want to maybe send it to your lawyer in a different language. What you do is copy the text over to maybe Google Translate or some other platform. Try to get a translated copy from outside. Have to deal with multiple platforms, expose it outside of the organization. But with the GenAI within Alfresco, you will be able to do it with a click and without actually exposing it to the outside public platform. Meta tag generation. So if you have bulk of data coming in, the AI can actually help you tag some of these documents, whether these are new documents or historical documents. It may be pretty laborious for the business users to generate meta tags manually, or sometimes even the OCR might not be able to do that efficient jobs. And that's where AI can actually detect some of the relevant keywords within a document and even assign the categories and tag the documents for easy find without spending a lot of money on the manual indexing or expensive OCR solutions and so on. And then the PII detection, so which is definitely one of the key features we're going to demonstrate today on how some of the sensitive information can be detected, which is not required maybe once a process is complete. Some of the documents which are collected from the customers are only required to be kept during the business process, not necessarily once the application is approved, the business process is complete. Those documents are required to be archived, but minus the sensitive information. So we're going to have the live demo of how AI helps you to even overcome those challenges and ensure that your repository is free of this sensitive information, which is not a necessity for your business anymore. And then everyone loves ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Gemini, and so on. So why not to have your own, intelligent chat capabilities within your DMS without leaving your window. You can select whichever documents you want, folder of the documents, and ask questions. And AI is going to limit the information to those documents, to those folders, to those customer data, which is in your DMS and not outside of it. It's not going to hallucinate and so on, right? Okay, we get into the demo. I hope I was not speeding up, but in the interest of time. So let me just switch my screen and go to, all right. So this is our live Alfresco system, which we are running on. Let me log in as an admin user, which is assigned to create an investment contract, right? So this is the modern user interface for Alfresco, which has options to see the dashboard, the workflow tasks, documents, several apps, and it's multilingual, so works with different languages, etc. So let me just start by creating a new investment contract. So that's the e-form I'm going to fill in. So, right, so let me just create, all right. So I'll just say day financials. Right, so this is optional, so I'll leave it mtd@crest.com. I'm just going to fill the mandatory fields of the form just to save time. So bank account number, I'll just keep it 5678990. Let me give it a contract number, so 10111 is a dummy number. Let me put up a contract date for today. Give it a contract amount of $50,000 or $500,000. Let's give it a $500,000 if there is an extra zero, never mind. And to verify the banking details for this particular customer, I'm going to attach a simple bank statement, which is typically a supporting document to verify this application, right? I'll also give it a contract expiry date, and I'll take it maybe August 31st as the expiry date. Let's start the process. So I can see that under my task module, I have the active workflow where this is the form that I just filled. The history, this is going to be reviewed or picked up by someone. I'll get to see the more history in here. I go to the attachment section, and this is the bank statement I attached to this particular process. And I can see that there is an additional document which got generated by itself. So let me see what it is. So what Alfresco does is that it takes your information that you entered in your e-form, and it's now generating a new investment contract based on a pre-configured template. So we have investment contract template. We have the vendor ID, we have the vendor name, full address, all the details, etc. And then the template is all in here. So you have the day financials in here. Okay, so Alfresco did my job, created a investment contract for me based on the pre-configured template. So the admin's job is done. Now it's the duty of the legal user to then review this particular contract and provide feedback. So I can see under my unclaimed tasks, or I can also go under my task, and I can see it on the task pool. This is the task which I just received. All right, so there are some queries which I'll get to answer later. Let me just claim this task for me. And so that's the capability of Alfresco, where a task can be assigned to a group of people. You don't have to rely on one single individual, and if that person is away from the work, etc., the task is pending. So the pool can be for a team. Anyone can actually pick it up, right? So I got this application to review. Let me see. Again, these two documents. So as a legal person, let me just go through and review this particular contract. And I can see that even though the contract is roughly about 6 pages, I don't necessarily have to go everything. It may be longer than that, but I can see the key details in here. The vendor ID, the vendor name, the email, registration number, the bank account number, the details, everything, what are the investment, delivery time frame, the warranty, subordination, confidentiality. So what AI has done in the background for me is that it has actually summarized this entire contract, and I can make a decision to approve, reject, or even ask some additional information from the process initiator before I make a decision. And then I can also see a bank statement attached, which does have some sensitive information, but that's fine. That's needed for me to actually make a decision. And again, I get a summary of this statement as well, which I can actually see. All right, so easy for me to make a decision based on this information. I go back to my task. Looks good, so let me just go ahead and approve it. I can approve, reject, or ask more information. So let me just go ahead and approve it. I can see it under my completed task, and I'll be able to see that the admin user started it, the legal user, which is me, approved it, and it has now gone to the procurement, and the procurement is in process of reviewing it. So let me impersonate the procurement user now. Right, so log in as the procurement user. I'll get to see my task in here on the dashboard itself. Right, so there is a task sitting in. Again, I can claim it from here. So I have the habit of going in here. So I come into my recent task. I get to see these documents as well. Again, what legal has done. I'll be asking maybe some more questions before I approve it. So let me just ask some questions. What are the warranties? My eyes are not that good. Right, okay. Well, yeah, looks good to me, but what is there any termination clause? I'm not sure. Okay, all right. There is a termination clause. All right. What else should I ask? I'm not a lawyer, so not very. What's the jurisdiction? Okay. Okay, where is the jurisdiction? Let's see before I approve it. Okay, all right. So if I'm fine with what I just saw, let me just go back to my task and complete the process of approving it. Right, so I saw that there was a bank statement as well. Should I see it? Maybe, yeah, okay, all right. I'll just go ahead and approve it. Okay, I can see it under my completed task, and now the process is complete. And since the process is complete, let me see what happened to the sensitive information that was inside the bank statement. Well, I can see that all the sensitive information which was there has actually been redacted because this bank statement was only supposed to be there till the time the process is ongoing. And for the archival purpose, I don't really need to have that sensitive information anymore, right? So we configured the reduction to leave last 1 digit, or maybe we can have configure it to 2 digit or 4 digits, etc., for the sensitive information, so that you can just identify in case you need to validate it back. All right, my process is complete, but then as a procurement customer, I may have some additional questions. And what I want to know is, I want to know the list. Okay, this is a normal search, sorry. Let me go to the AI search. Okay. List all investment contracts and show key data in table. Okay, John, I got your question. Let me answer that in a bit. So let us see. Okay, I've got 3 contracts which are there in my system. I can see the summary. I can see the related documents. Right. Let me ask a different question. List investment contracts which are expiring in 3 months and show the key data in the table. I've just got only 2, right? So as I mentioned earlier, the knowledge management part of the GenAI natural language query part, you can have thousands of documents of different types, the invoices, the purchase order, the contracts, the application forms, etc. You don't have to really worry about going through the navigation part. Of course, we do have the GPU structure, which everyone, especially the Windows users, are so used to it. But if you have hundreds of thousands or millions of documents, I think it can be pretty painful to sort of go through all the contracts in here. So the natural language search can actually be very, very helpful for you. So that was my demonstration of the GenAI capabilities within Alfresco as a DMS or a workflow BPM platform. Let me go back to my slide deck and give you a deep dive on, let me just take a step back and I'll show you one more thing. Let me log in as an admin user before I jump back to my slide deck. So just want to give you a glimpse of the configurability of the platform. So go to the admin tools and you can see that we actually allow, we actually take a multimodal approach for this platform. We have 2 servers listed in here, the LLM servers. The VLLM is actually hosted in our premise, running on a GPU server, and uses IBM Granite as a model. I mean, we do run multiple LLMs, Llama, Mistral, and so on, but at the moment I'm only using the Granite model running on our GPU server. And then we also integrate with cloud LLM. So Gemini is what we have integrated now, but you can bring in Copilot if you have a subscription. You can bring in, DeepSeek or any other Perplexity and so on and so forth. It's an API-based approach we take. And we understand that you might want to have a mix of it. One of the feedback we're getting from our customers is that, there is no way that they can actually restrict or count on how many tokens that the users might get consumed, and the bill can be pretty fat. In the sense on how much, the Copilot bill or Gemini bill you might end up getting, because once you give these tools in the hand of the business users, they would want to ask 1,000 queries in a day. And if you have 10,000 users, then, your CFO is possibly going to start, buying a currency printing machine to be able to pay to the OpenAI and so on. So you can actually mix and match to say, well, do I only use the PII for my cloud, but as far as the Ask AI is concerned, the chat capabilities, I direct it to my self-hosted, or maybe I think there is a bit of trend going on in the market where you can rent a GPU, so you only pay a fixed cost and you don't really pay by the number of tokens, right? So you have different capabilities of chat, detecting and editing the PII, generating the text, summarization, translation. You can pick and choose of which model gives you the best results, and whether you want to have a mix of cloud and on-prem, or whether you want to have fully on-prem, or whether you want to have fully on cloud. So we actually made it very flexible and try to accommodate the business requests from our customers. Right, just wanted to give you that glimpse. Let me go back to my slide deck. How much time do we have? Okay, 40 minutes almost. Yeah, so that's a very high-level architecture of the system that I've just shared with you. Right, so at the heart of it, it's definitely the Alfresco platform, which is document management, request management workflow platform, which is being accessed by the digital workspace app, which we call DigiWorks, which is based on modern Angular Alfresco ADF platform. Underneath, we are running an RDBMS because just like any other web applications, Alfresco does require a relational database, which can be MySQL, MariaDB, Oracle, MS SQL. I mean, we are a fan of MariaDB, fan of open source. And then why MariaDB as well? There is another reason for it because MariaDB now also supports the vector capabilities. So we need to vectorize the data that is actually coming in. There are a lot of images which come in, scanned documents, passports, IC number, and so on and so forth. Right, so we can actually do both within the same Alfresco database, which is MariaDB. If you're using maybe Oracle or MS SQL, we may have to bring in additional vector DB, so you're going to maintain like two databases. Rather, if you're either using Postgres or if you're using MariaDB, then you can actually do everything in one. And I think MariaDB does have some enhanced vector DB capabilities. So we actually selected MariaDB as a single platform for both RDBMS as well as the vector DB. And then we have our GenAI stack, which is built on the open source stack using the Java Spring AI microservices. We use IBM Docklink to process images, do the OCR, and then we do the chunking of the data into semantic chunking. To generate the headers, the relevant structure of the document where you have the header 1, header 2, header 3, and the tables and so on and so forth. And then we use VLLM. At the moment we're using VLLM, but sometimes we also switch to Olama. So we keep testing of what gives us best results. So at the moment it's the VLLM that we are actually using, and the performance is much better when it comes to the heavy load. Olama may work maybe for a small setup, but not really when they're talking about hundreds of thousands of documents. So yeah, using the VLLM, we then connect to the multimodal. So whether it's watsonx, Gemini, Copilot, or the self-hosted Granite, Llama, DeepSeek, and Mistral, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, if you are looking to consolidate your data from line of business applications, ERP, CRM, any other LOB application, co-banking, loan origination, insurance, your electronic medical records, etc. Yes, we have connectors where you can actually pull in the data from this business application and create a single repository, single source of truth, and leverage on the AI capabilities. So this is our high-level architecture, pretty flexible, scalable, which you can deploy either on-prem if you have your data center. You can deploy it on any cloud, AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle. You're pretty flexible. It's a Java application. It does require LLMs. Now, whether you connect with the cloud-based LLMs or whether you rent a GPU, and then we can help you run your own LLM if you are concerned about the number of tokens that the Gemini or Copilot or watsonx may consume, then you can have the self-hosted model even on the cloud as well. But if you're running your own data center, we do support, of course, a wide variety. So you can have your regular commodity x86 server with a GPU, or you can run even on the IBM if you are already running your core banking LOS application on IBM servers like Power or iSeries, etc. Yes, we can run Alfresco on IBM Power on Linux, or you can host it in any cloud and integrate with the AI if you're already subscribed to these LLM of your choice. We also offer this DMS as a service. So if you are interested to have a managed service in the choice of your hosting, then we can as well provide you as a package where we take care of the infrastructure and the solution and the support, everything all in, and you actually get a very free subscription of Alfresco GenAI DMS. All right, time for Q&A, and I guess we have 15 minutes to go, so I think we can take up the queries. So let me take it up. Anybody wants to? Okay, I can read it. Right. So, okay, I'll go from the uh, latest first. So John is asking if you can, I assume the solution handles the semantic search. Absolutely. So that's where we actually leverage on, it's actually a mix of, let me give you a glimpse. So it's a mix of, Alfresco does use Elasticsearch at the moment, and as you know, that Elastic to index the documents, the metadata, etc. But that only works for the actual documents, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, maybe emails, and so on and so forth. So those data does get indexed into Elasticsearch, and Elasticsearch, as you know, does have the semantic capability. So our GenAI stack does make semantic queries to Elasticsearch for the metadata and for the documents which are text-based. But then we do a mix of the semantic search within Elastic of Alfresco, as well as the vector search, the vector DB that we have built within MariaDB, because we know that the real world use case that the textual documents will never be 100%. You may have your e-forms, which has the data which goes into the Elasticsearch, but then you may have supporting documents which are actually coming, which get scanned either as an image or as a TIFF or a PDF. So we sort of OCR the data. We create the vectorized data for those scanned documents, and we store it in the vector DB, and then we mix the results of the semantic search from Elastic and the vector DB within MariaDB, and then we get the LLM to actually combine the results and give it back to the user. So we are not missing out on the results. If we only go semantic search within Elastic, within Alfresco, then we may be missing out on the data which came in the images format or the PDF format, which was not indexed in the full text index of Alfresco. So we knew the challenge. That's why we make use of the vector DB and IBM Docling to process even the images. Yeah. Sorry for the long answer, but just wanted to give you a deep dive. And I think you already said that yes, it's a solution. Yeah, it can be a SaaS, it can be a PaaS. All right. How did GenAI handle compliance and regulatory requirement in documents, especially in the high regulated? Well, so I've just given a glimpse of the PII detection and reduction, right? So GenAI is capable of evaluating sensitive information or relevant information within the documents and tag those documents or route these documents or redact those documents in order to sort of comply to various compliances. Right. Why use a self-hosted? I think I've already answered that. The cost is definitely one of the reason. A lot of organizations have already burned their hands, I guess, by paying for billions of tokens. So token-based pricing is definitely one of the key concern areas. That's why having a self-hosted or rent a GPU model can actually be pretty cost-effective without worrying about the number of queries the business users may actually throw. Which LLM? I think John already answered that. Typically, I think our experience, we don't use large models. I think most of the models that we are running are either 8 billion or maximum 12 billion tokens. So we don't run 300B or 700B kind of models. Not very efficient. So because we only have limited use case, we're going to throw a bunch of documents and then the LLM is just going to make sense of it and come back, right? So the 2B, the 6B, the 12B, 8B kind of models, and specifically Granite and Llama 3.2 are actually doing a very good job. Okay, how can GenAI assist with the lifecycle management record from creation to disposal? So I think already demonstrated about creation of the documents using the pre-configured templates, and then finally redacting the information, even applying the retention policy. So the AI can actually handle the end-to-end life cycle. Right. I think I have answered all. If there are any more queries, yeah, happy to take it up. All right. Thank you. Right, so I have my contact details in here. If there are no more queries, I think we can wrap it up early. You can give your 10 minutes back. I think we will just wait for maybe another 1 minute or so. If there are any more queries, happy to take it up. Or as I said, you can note down my queries. You can scan the QR code, connect with me on LinkedIn. And yeah, one final thing, since this webinar is recorded, we will post it online and we'll send you a link. If you're looking to get a copy of this slide deck, yeah, do email to me or connect with me or buzz me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to get you a copy of the slide deck. And the recording will be available hopefully by next week, and we'll send you a link. Right. So I guess there are no more queries. So we'll give you the 10 minutes back. Thank you very much, and have a nice day ahead, or have a nice evening ahead for those joining in the PM time zone. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.